We be different.
Grace, peace, and blessings to you all. Welcome back to another edition of the Be For Real Show. I'm your host, Brother Brooks. I'm glad to have you back with us. Look, Pride Month is over. Now we're in July. But who was it that actually won this Pride Month? This Pride Month was a battle between good and evil, as it always is. We had Jesus Pride Month going on, and we also had the LGBTQ Pride Month going on. LGBTQ plus XYZ, whatever it is nowadays. All of that was going on, but it kind of didn't go exactly how they planned for it to go this time around. Some interesting things occurred this particular June of 2023. Let's take a look. All right, so we got the Witches of Eastwick up next, aka The View, the Cackling Hens on ABC. They're going to chime in with their opinion on LGBTQ, Pride Month, and the attacks, or quote unquote attacks, that are going on against gays in America. Let's take a look.
So here's what we have to tell you. This year, the LGBTQ community has been targeted like never, ever before. Yesterday, the White House announced initiatives to back the community. Let's show you a clip.
This is a president that has been a strong ally, a vice president that has been a strong ally, a second gentleman, a first lady that's been a strong ally of the community. Let's not forget what we're seeing across the country from state houses. More than 600 pieces of legislation, anti-LGBTQ plus legislation. A few hundred of those are against transgender youth. And so we have not seen that type of anti-sentiment, against this community in decades. And so we believe that not only does this community need to be celebrated and continue to be celebrated, as he's done many times before in this past 2 years, but we also need to make sure that we let the community know that the president has their back, and we're going to continue to fight for them.
All right, why do they need to be celebrated? What makes them special? This is what I can't get over. Why are we celebrating someone's sexual preferences? Like, do we uphold straight relationships like that? Do we have straight pride? Do we have a special group of people that just want to be freaking normal? Do we take up collections for them? Do we have parades for them? No, we don't. Why are we saying that this group is special and they need to be celebrated? Why do we always call them heroic and brave and give them all of these great terms and adjectives for choosing to sleep with someone of the same sex or do some deplorable, immoral sexual act that they're into, or whatever freaky mess that they're into? Not judging, by the way, just stating facts. We don't need to celebrate who you sleep with. Get over yourself.
Will it help?
Look, what's happening on the Republican side, yes, there's been hundreds and hundreds, over 500, 600, Corinne Jean-Pierre says, anti-LGBTQ plus bills passed. This is all for political gain and political purposes. Republicans do this all the time, have done it very effectively. In 2000, the wedge issue was gay marriage. In 2004, the gay issue was gay marriage. Ironically enough, the guy leading George W. Bush's campaign back then, Ken Mehlman, then years later came out as gay and was one of the leading voices to try to get Republicans to support gay marriage in front of the Supreme Court. And in 2016, the wedge issue was immigration. Well, now they're back to the same anti-gay playbook. In 2024, the issue is transgender, because we're past gay marriage. That ship has sailed, and it's this idea of driving people to the polls through fear, through anger, through angst, through the stress, through the paranoia and hysteria that drag queens are coming for your children. People, let me tell you this. Drag queens don't even like children. They don't tip and they don't drink. They don't tip and they don't drink. And to me, this is so contrary to the idea of parental choice. No child is driving themselves to a drag show. And so I would say Ron DeSantis. First, I would say to all the drag queens for the month of June, Pride Month, let's celebrate by changing your names to Rhonda Santis. Yeah. But if taking a child to a drag show is such endangerment to that child, why aren't you penalizing the parent putting the child in danger? Why? Leave the drag queens alone, man. Yeah, and people
All right. I'm going to say this, and I'll probably never say this again on the Be For Real show. I actually agree with Anna Navarro on this particular point. Stop taking your kids to these events. I agree with that 100%. There's no reason why a drag queen should ever be in an environment around children. Children are innocent. They don't know the perils of this world and what they're going to be faced with. Let those kids have their innocence before you start spewing all of this foolishness on them. And if you're a parent that take your kids to drag shows or you take your kids to pride parades and pride festivals, you need to be ashamed of yourself, because it's actual child abuse, in my opinion. But here's another thing that I'll say about these people on The View, these cackling hens. You'll notice on this segment that we're looking at that everything that goes wrong, they blame Republicans. Now, I will say this. I'm not a fan of a whole lot of Republicans out there, because I think that a lot of them are jellybacks, afraid. They don't stand up for themselves. They don't come out and speak up. They don't even tout their successes as they should. And they avoid certain communities because they're under the assumption that these communities are not going to listen to them anyway. It's a rather good assumption, but still, you should give it a try. But these ladies on this show, everything that goes wrong is the fault of Republicans or Donald Trump. Nothing else.
Taking kids to drag shows. There are drag readings where it's children's reading material and they're reading and entertaining them, because drag is a performance art.
No. There was one parent
But
who showed up with one little girl, and he's
But
been
in
trying to
general,
close down.
you would say that people just don't do that. I don't let my kids watch PG movies yet. I love a drag show. Doesn't mean my kids belong there right now. But that's not because of the drag queens. It's because of the sexually explicit, some of the language and things. That's all. But the other thing that Alyssa and I got a chance to speak with Elliot Page yesterday when he was here, and there were some fascinating things he was kind of enlightening us to. Some of that is there's such an obsession about this gender-affirming care and how we're going to limit it everywhere. If people understood that that's an umbrella term for every part of the medical treatment for a child to get the help they need. A lot of that is working with psychologists, doctors that are all licensed and following all the rules that have been approved, helping them realize maybe baby steps towards, is this something I'm experiencing? They're actually helping them. And the other thing is, there's a lot of this talk about they're going to come and perform a surgery. The infinitesimal amount of people getting minor surgery, for example, 203 top surgery procedures were done on minors in 2021. 4,700 teenagers, 13 to 19, had breast reductions. So are we going to talk about this surgery and this irreversible surgery being so bad when this percentage of people being affected? This is a party that claims to be pro-life, yet the lives living here that need the help they get.
None of this is anybody's business.
Yeah, but
this is the part.
Listen to the wish speak.
But this is the part that I don't understand. You are telling me that I don't know my family. You are telling me you don't know my kid. I'm telling you, you don't know my kid. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't know what I need. And you're not asking me. You're not saying, hey, we're going to give you some money to make sure that we have places where if your child comes and says, listen, I really need to talk to you, I can help you get to where you need to be. You're not helping me. You're scaring my kids. You're making them feel like they don't deserve to be here and that they don't deserve to live. This is on your hands.
First of all, this is the thing that I get about Whoopi that I don't get about Whoopi. Here's the thing, that there's a question that I posed on one of my shorts. Go and check that out on the Be For Real Show YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button so that you can get all my shorts that I post. I dropped the poll, and the question was who was the dumbest panelist on The View? Now, you got Whoopi Goldberg, you got Joy Behar, Anna Navarro. We just heard her speak. You can tell that she's less than intelligent. Sunny hosting, and then there's a conservative or quasi-conservative Alyssa Farrah Griffin at the end of the table, who very rarely offers anything of substance to any conversation. Me personally, I cannot figure out which one of these ladies is the dumbest. Now, Sunny has a degree and is a lawyer, but in my opinion, she comes off as the dumbest person on the show, or the dumbest woman in TV. And knowing that there's people like Joy Reid out there, that's saying a lot. Now, again, I always like to say or make it very clear that your education level only means that you were able to pass tests to get grades and have a passing grade to get your degree. Getting degrees does not afford you common sense. Getting degrees does not really make you smart. It just means that you were able to go to school, attend class, turn your work in, and pass the test when those tests had to be passed. Now, Whoopi never really offers anything of substance, similar to Alyssa Farrah Griffin on the other end of the table. And her arguments are, and you can see how she could just kind of flutters around a lot with her responses that she can barely get out. And it's like, okay, Whoopi, we waiting on the edge of our seat to see what it is you're gonna say. And there's this big rush, and then there's always this huge letdown. It's like, that was your response. That out of all of that you put out, and that's it, Whoopi. This is another one of those situations. But again, it's The View. What more do you expect? It's gonna get weirder. It's gonna get really weird right here. But they did mention this kid that wrote a book. I believe he's a kid. I'm not sure. This person, this author who wrote this book about being a transgender boy, a transgender girl. I don't know how it goes. I mean, it's not for me to know. It's a boy who thinks he's a girl. Now, I don't know if that's a transgender boy or a transgender girl. Y'all tell me down in the comments, clear it up for me, who they're going to talk about here in this, in the end of this segment. You got to keep your eyes peeled, keep your ears open, and listen to exactly what they're going to say. And you'll see exactly why I call this the dumbest panel of people on TV.
Is on your hands. This is what we're dealing with.
And this is smart, both policy and politics by Joe Biden, because what my party is risking doing is alienating not just the LGBTQ plus community, but all of us who are allies in it. It's not like gay people are only on the left or only on the right, or gay children only are born to people on the left. We need to realize how many people we're actually boxing out by advancing these policies. They're perfectly common sense. And I would also argue that the American public, including Republican public, is in a different place than our elected officials. I use this stat all the time because it's stunning to me. 70% of Republicans favor more protections from discrimination for the LGBTQ plus community. Why then is it front and center for the Republican Party right now to try to take away more rights, to try to make it more difficult? We're literally saying we want to give up on an entire voting block. And by the way, millennials, my generation, Gen Z, will not be with you if you don't stand with us.
And it's a very young, robust voting block. And I don't have much to add except the fact that transgender adults are 1.6% of the country. Why are the Republicans honing in on that other than for political purposes? And I think that is very sad. And the other thing I would just say is that we've seen these wedge issues forever and ever and ever and ever. And it's this otherizing. It's trying to make you feel better about your life by making someone else feel worse. And I think what was so important that
that's a very false point to say that just because we don't agree with this gay mafia movement, that we're trying to make other people feel worse about themselves to make ourselves feel better. Man, why can't we just have a difference of preference or a difference of opinion without having all these labels thrown against us? I mean, this is what makes it hard to take these people seriously. And that's why I urge people to go outside the box. If this is the only source of news that you're getting, if this is, if you're limiting yourself to The View, Joy Reid, or CNN, or the Young Turks, MSNBC, open your mind to a different or dissenting view. It might open your eyes to something that you had no idea was really going on. But stop taking this crap in. You can see there's no common sense on this panel.
Now, I also read Elliot Page's book, and I think that book, I hope everybody reads it. It's going to save lives. It's going to explain what he went through. And there's just one thing that he wrote about when he got his period when he was with his father skiing. And I thought,
oh my goodness. So they're talking about this author that I just mentioned. He said, he wrote in his book about when he got his period. Did you catch that? When he got his period. Okay. Let me be perfectly clear. It is physically impossible for a male to get a period. I don't care how many skirts you put on. I don't care how many G-strings and boots you put on. I don't care how many fake boobs you get. There is no way possible for a man to A, have a period, and B, have a baby. This is the other foolishness that they try to push on us, pregnant men. And you would think, let's look back 15 years ago. If someone came to you and said that this is an idea of there's an idea of men having periods or men having babies. I think 15 years ago, 99% of people would look at you like you were crazy. Are we losing our freaking minds? Because in 2023, we actually have a large percentage of the population that is entertaining this foolishness as if it's true.
I was terrified when I got my period at 11 years old, and I was with my dad, and I didn't want to tell him. Imagine being in the wrong body. Imagine being born into a girl's body when you were a boy, and you were experiencing that, and you could have had blockers. You could have had that
I wanted to
and
use.
avoided that experience.
They've been using puberty blockers on cisgender patients since the 1990s. So people need to educate themselves on the things
Why
they're
not do it
saying.
for these kids?
Yeah.
Well, but stop. You are killing our children.
Yep.
You are telling our kids they don't belong, they are not welcome, and God bless this table. I'm going to fight, we're going to fight for everybody's right to be themselves here in America, because that's the promise of America. Be who you